Fresh off the weekend's four sports tournament and with districts coming tonight, the city's #1 rivalry continues. For the Big Reds, the key all season long has been not committing errors and basically not beating themselves. Meanwhile, for the Huskies, the key has been getting consistent offense throughout. Which team will be better tonight and win the latest chapter in the Battle of Port Huron? The answer is next. Good evening, everyone. Derek Work, the Big D, joining me tonight. Special guest, and pleased to have him, Terry Harrington. Well, Terry, Port Huron comes in 13-11 MAC Blue, but their season basically over after tonight. The Huskies 7-18-1 in the MAC White. I guess my question for you is, are you surprised by these records, or do they kind of come as you'd expect?
Well, I know for the Huskies, they're a little disappointed in that. They've been struggling getting the key hit when the runner's on base, especially that two-out hit with men on. Sometimes defense has let them down a little bit. Pitching has been pretty consistent for most of the season. Port Huron High, again, it's the the same type of thing, just not getting that timely hit, making a miscue here and there at the most inopportune time, and you see what we have. But if this game is anything like we had last year, it should be exciting. Port Huron High won it last year 8-7 in 9 innings. So if we have anything close to that, we're in store for a great game tonight.
Well, we certainly are hoping for that. And Mr. Harrington, how has the lineups?
Alrighty, starting up, leading off for the Huskies is their pitcher, Eric Harrington. Center fielder, Tyler Thomas, is batting second, followed by the shortstop, James McMillan. The catcher is a cleanup hitter, Alex Zondalak. Batting fifth is the third baseman, Jeremy Brown. At first base is Andrew Fidel. The seventh hitter in left field is Corey Smith. Tyler Peters in right field is batting eighth, and Kevin Burns, the second baseman, will be the ninth hitter for the Huskies.
And if you're wondering, by the looks of things anyway, the Port Huron Northern Huskies aren't using the extra hitter, but PH is going to go with one. So that's kind of a new rule for me. I know I don't do a lot of baseball games. I guess you do, Terry. So
yeah, some options in high school. You can either go with the extra hitter, or you can even go with the designated hitter. We've seen that both ways this year, or just as Northern is doing, batting all 9 men who are out in the field. So just up to the coaches how they want to get their offense going. Extra hitter is kind of nice. You can get that extra player into the game as well. So we'll see what happens as Eric steps in to take the first pitch from Chris Crimmins.
Well, again, Crimmins on the mound for PH, a very respected pitcher. Certainly has had a decent year playing in the MAC Blue. Of course, Huskies out of the white. First pitch is a strike. I noticed one thing about this level, umpire zone's pretty large at times.
And that kind of changes sometimes as the game goes on, too.
So Eric Harrington, the pitcher for the Huskies. This one bounces in the dirt past the catcher, 1-1.
Let's set that defense for the Big Reds real quick. Charlie Watson at first, Jeremy Davis at second, Jordan Galanos at shortstop. Mike Page is in at third base.
Next pitch, a little bit inside, makes it 2-1.
And that makes it Duran Rashford in left field. We have Brad Davies in center. Travis Washington is in right, and Anthony Ingalls is catching.
Well, that one off the dirt, a little bit of control trouble in the first at bat for Crimmins. 3-1. Count to Harrington. Good hitter's pitch right now. Harrington can be choosy a little bit here.
And Eric's one of the top hitters for Northern this year with a .323 batting average.
And dare I say it, your son draws the walk. Proud papa up here.
Good start.
Well, not really up here, I guess, but behind the, what do you want to call this, the fence and the dugout and all the rest of it.
Yeah, actually our vantage point is right behind third base, so let's hope there aren't any overthrows. Got your glove?
Yeah, your view kind of obstructional. Well, up right now, Tyler Thomas, and control problems continue for Crimmins. It is early going, so if they're going to have it, now's the time to have it.
Definitely, but like in any softball or any recreational ball, getting runners on base, that's key.
That one missed by a lot, and walking out to talk to Crimmins is Anthony Engel, the catcher. Certainly a good move here, maybe more or less to calm him down, I think, Terry, and make sure the cobwebs are not really affecting him right now. You can have some in a big rivalry game such as this, though, can't you?
Oh, I mean, you're just watching Eric tonight before the game. He was kind of pacing around the house this afternoon, and just that anxiety. Yeah, this is the biggest game of the year for these kids.
This one hits square, and it could be in the gap. Charging the ball hard as Durand Ashford dives forward and makes a great catch. Harrington did not tag, goes back quickly to first. Safe there, but fly out Durand Ashford, a great job.
Fantastic. Last year between these two clubs, we had several catches on both sides just like that one. So If that's any indication what this game's going to be like, we're in store for a good one, Derek.
As for Tyler Thomas, you can't hit any squarer than that. It kind of just ended a bit of tough luck.
Yep.
James McMillan, 26, the shortstop. Left-handed third hitter. There goes Harrington. Throw down, and the stolen base looked like it came pretty easily, but I guess at this level a lot of stolen bases do come easily, but Harrington thus far the walk and the stolen base, so that's what a leadoff hitter does.
Yep, definitely, and it's what you expect him to do. He needs to get in the scoring position any way he can, and you never know what's going to happen.
McMillan fouls that one away. Again, bear with us tonight, folks. The scoreboard is not lit up, so we have to kind of think about the balls and strikes as we go. It's good to have a color man with all these stats. Crimmins, the wind up the pitch. That one way high. When he has missed thus far, he has missed by a lot. Count now 2-1. Again, a decent hitter's pitch here. McMillan really has to set himself and just wait. Again, lefty on lefty here. That one really high, 3-1. So some problems in the early going for Crimmins.
McMillan is one of 2 juniors starting tonight for the Huskies. All the others are seniors, being their last regular scheduled game.
Crimmins, the next one misses. I think we have a full count now. As we mentioned, could be difficult tonight to call the balls and strikes when there's no scoreboard to see it with, but we'll do our best. Crimmins blows it right by him, strike 3. So for the most part in that at bat, he stayed high to McMillan and blew it right by him there on the full count pitch. 31, Alex Zondlak. You mentioned it before the game, Terry, and certainly a lot of multi-sports athletes. Zondlak, a great football player.
Definitely, and he'll definitely be one of the leaders for the Huskies next fall.
Again, bounced way in front of the catcher, Engel, for ball 1.
And Alex is the other junior starting for the Huskies tonight. It's been the regular backstop all season long.
Is this what they've had trouble with all season long, though, getting the runner in from scoring position?
Exactly it.
Ground ball to shortstop. Galanos tosses across. Bad throw, hits the ground first, and it's overthrown. Scoring is Harrington, and the Huskies are going to have the 1-0 lead as on the error, Zondlak gets to second.
Routine ground ball. I think he tried to overthrow it a little bit. Zondlak isn't exceptionally fast, but he's got good speed for a catcher. And again, I think just those first game or those game jitters, until you get the ball for the first time, and guys get a little excited.
Well, we mentioned it before the game. The one thing that has killed Port Huron this year basically has been themselves. And Galanos certainly a team leader, and they're not used to seeing him make many of those. 0-0, Jeremy Brown up to bat. Odd to see a baseball player with 0-0. First pitch, fly ball straight to center field. Camping under it is center fielder Brad Davies, and that'll end the first half of the inning. But the Huskies, despite the fact that it's an unearned run, they're on the board 1-0 after the first half of the inning. CPHS Channel 6, Derek Work, the Big D, Terry Harrington joining me tonight, and this is the Big Reds and Huskies Baseball Network. Well, a good sign by the Huskies, I think, in that first inning, or the first half inning anyway, that they did have some good rips. Yes. Particularly the first one there by Ty Thomas. I'm sure that's going to be a good sign when he comes to bat for the second time.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's amazing how much of a difference it makes when you get to face a pitcher for the second time. Yeah, just see what he has. Sometimes the control changes, and I'm sure Chris is a little excited on the hill to get this game started, and things are coming up, and he'll settle down. He's a good enough athlete. He'll settle down. So let's take a look at that Port Huron High Big Red starting lineup batting order here. Leading off with the Big Reds in the bottom half of the first will be first baseman Charlie Watson batting second baseman Jeremy Davis. The shortstop Jordan Galanos will be batting third. The cleanup hitter is the catcher Anthony Engel. Center fielder Brad Davies is batting fifth. Third baseman Mike Page is batting sixth. The seventh batter is Duran Ashford, the left fielder. Right fielder Travis Washington is batting 8th. The pitcher Chris Crimmins is batting 9th. And Port Huron High, as we already mentioned, is going with the extra hitter, and that's going to be Pat Konstantecki tonight to round up the Husky, or the Big Red lineup. Should also say we got a veteran crew here on the umping tonight. Port Huron veteran Jim Gosker. Port Huron knows him very well and is very familiar on the ball diamonds around town. He is on the bases tonight, and Fred Mrazek from Marlette is calling the balls and strikes behind the plate.
And looky who's starting for the Huskies tonight. Proud Papa here in the booth, if you want to call this a booth, and certainly watching his son do everything. Got the game's only run, and now he's going to try and help his own cause on the mound.
Yep, let's see what he can do. And Eric's not an overpowering pitcher, but he's a control pitcher. More than 2/3 of his first pitches are for strikes. So, when you can start throwing strikes right off the gate, that helps your defense. So we'll see what he's got tonight.
And what exactly does he throw? Does he have a strong deuce?
He's got a pretty good curveball. He likes throwing the slider. Got a good changeup. Fastball is average, so see what happens.
Swing at the first pitch is Charlie Watson, right back to Harrington. Toss across to first, and the first out. Easy does it. I'm sure Eric would admit that he'd like to have more outs just like that one.
Oh, I'm sure he would. Keep everything in the infield tonight. Let's set that defense for the Huskies. Of course, we have Eric on the mound. Alex Zondelak is your catcher. Andrew Fidel is at first base. Kevin Burns at second. James McMillan is your shortstop. And Jeremy Brown is at third base.
Number 4, Jeremy Davis, the second baseman. The pitch from Harrington is low. That certainly is something that I'm sure Coach Nichols for the Big Reds did not want to see. First pitch swinging leadoff man, innocent little ground ball to the pitcher. You want to see the leadoff hitters obviously work the counts. Similar to leadoff man for the Huskies, Harrington did. He worked the count, got a walk. Early swinging is Davis, swings right through that one.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell with these kids. You want them to swing at good pitches. Sometimes these pitchers, the first pitch is usually the best. So, it just depends on who you're facing and how you feeling for the night.
High change up that time. Missed. Brings the count to 3-1. Davis just trying to put the ball in play. Big Reds trailing the Huskies 1-0. Here's a pop fly left field. Camping under that one is Corey Smith. Can of corn, easy out. Second out of the inning. So Harrington off to a good start getting the first 2 hitters. Here's one that might be a little more tougher though. Jordan Galanos, highly rated ball player and their leader and just a junior.
And he's batting .372 for the season with 1 home run. So he does have a little bit of pop in that bat.
Really says it all, and he's the kind of guy who, after making the error, he'll make amends for that, eventually. Another heck of a good football player. Lots of multi-sports athletes, both schools.
I think that's what makes high school sports so exciting. You can see these kids in a variety of venues.
Galanos, smooth swinging, fly ball right field. Tyler Peters is under it, and the final out of the inning. So the Big Reds go 1-2-3 in their first half of the inning. And after one complete from Sanborn Park, 1-0 Huskies on top of the Big Reds. Again, Derek Work, the Big D, Terry Harrington for CPHS Channel 6. Welcome back, second inning here from Sanborn Park. The Battle of Port Huron in baseball. So far, Huskies, the 1-0 lead, and they're coming up. Good early signs from Harrington, though. Got him 1-2-3. Limited number of pitches, too. That's so important in the early going.
Yeah, and especially in high school baseball, you want to keep the kids' pitch count down. Some coaches will let the kids go. I know last year when Britt Simon pitched for the Huskies, he pitched a complete game, 9 innings. He had over 125 pitches. That's a lot of pitches for a young arm, and the coaches try to protect these kids. And Northern's got a district game coming up in 2 days, so it's got to be careful with that too.
And we mentioned earlier, what a heartbreaker for the Big Reds. This is their final game, and they don't have any playoffs, I guess.
Nope, they unfortunately they lost the pre-district game earlier this week to number 10th ranked in the state, Dakota Cougars. And because there's 5 teams in the district, there's always that one pre-district game, and you got to win to get into the district, so to speak, just like the NCAA basketball tournament.
But I tell you, Dakota, that's got to be a tough game.
That is, and that was a tough loss for Port Huron High. Last year, Port Huron Northern had the game against Dakota and lost to that 2-1, and that knocked the Huskies out. So, just unfortunate how it works.
Starting the second, Chris Crimmins, another one, missed by a ton, bounced first before the plate, and it's 1-0. Up to bat, number 8, Andrew Fidel, the first baseman, trying to add to the 1-0 lead for the Huskies. Crimmins' next delivery, right down the middle, blew it right by him, 1-1. Well, you mentioned to me off-air, Terry, that a very good rivalry game last year. You were very pleased to come out and see that one.
Oh, that was an exciting game. It's always exciting these two teams get together. But that game went into extra innings. Northern tied it in the bottom of the 7th inning with a couple of runs to tie it up, and then it went into the 9th inning before it was all said and done. So high school baseball doesn't get any better than that.
Especially in a game that's so important.
Oh, definitely. And it's the kind of game, the kids will talk about the rest of their lives. So
Crimmins right down Broadway, and strike 3, Andrew Fidel. What does our man Harwell say? Out for excessive window shopping. There you go. One of your favorites, I'm sure.
Oh, you betcha.
Didn't even have to really say that. It goes without saying, I'm sure.
You've got that right. No, loved listening to Ernie, and it's still good to hear his stories every once in a while on Fox Sports.
And he has just about the best stories, I think, of anyone I've ever heard.
Well, I think that's what makes him so good.
Right.
Is because he is such a great storyteller.
And a heck of a nice guy, too.
Yes,
Met him
he
at a
is.
card show. Swinging late, kind of a light swing, straight up and straight down to the center fielder, Brad Davies, for the second out. So Corey Smith goes down. That'll bring up Tyler Peters, the right fielder. The JV final, 13-9 as well, so a pretty good game there, lots of runs.
Oh, yes.
And first thing I noticed, a good crowd on hand for the JV game.
Yeah, when you get both crosstown teams playing, you're going to get a good crowd.
That one right back to Crimmins. Throws to first, and there is the inning. So after 1.5, it remains 1-0 Huskies on top of the Big Reds. CPHS Channel 6.
And one thing you notice with the Huskies coming out, you see the players sprinting. Coaches have been working all season long to get these kids out there. Their goal is to have the kids out in the field ready to go in less than 20 seconds. So something they've worked on all season long. And
I was just going to say, almost leaving a little bit too early. I think a few of them were up here on the grass before you could overthrow there, and they're on the infield.
Yep. And you can see tonight, Northern coach Denny Dwyer is going with the free substitution that's allowed in high school. So if you scan the infield, you've got a whole new infield look right now for the Huskies. And I don't know if we want to even try to venture who's going to go where, but right now you've got on the mound for Northern another one of their seniors, Jeremy Brown, is now on the hill. Moving in from third base, Eric Harrington went out to left field. And you've got a lot of the other players shuffling in and out, and they're going to be doing that all game long.
Certainly is a nightmare for an announcer.
Yes. Especially one who didn't bring his binoculars.
I tell you, though, that's a tough move. Is this a regular thing that Northern will do? And especially because Harrington was 1, 2, 3 in the first.
Yeah, Coach Dwyer likes to do that. Keeps the kids in the game and gets everybody playing time. And it's a non-league game, although, there's a lot of pride at stake in this one. But he likes to do that and give the kids chances to play, multiple positions. During the league play, he doesn't do that as much. But on these games that are not league games, and I doubt he'll do that Saturday in districts because there's a lot at stake in that game. So, and of course, it doesn't matter if you're the top senior or you're the youngest kid on the team. This is the game you want to be playing in anyway because it's crosstown rivalry.
But I'm kind of surprised you would do it in a game like this, though, because you talk about what game's important and what game's not. I would think because they play each other once a year, this would be an important one. This one is deep, back, way back. Right into the glove on one bounce, the center fielder there, Tyler Thomas, but that not before a stand-up double. Anthony Ingold trying to get the Big Reds on the board, and so far he's doing his part.
Yeah, the middle of this lineup for the Big Reds is their power lineup. Galanos batting .372, Ingold's batting .311 on the season. Now stepping in is Brad Davies with batting .308, and he also leads the team in home runs with 3, which is a good number for high school.
And I'm pretty sure 2 of them came in one game. Pretty good concentration out there in center, I should also add. Tyler Thomas, a great job getting that one off the bounce, considering where he was with the fence.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize how tough those are to do, going back on the ball and almost hitting the fence.
And there's a lot of room out here at Sanborn. That was about the 360 mark where that ball bounced, and so a lot of room in the outfield.
This one they hit it square too. This is going to chase left fielder back, way back to the track, and he catches the ball. Eric Harrington with the grab. Again, you talk about good concentration. That one was putting him back.
And with the shadows right now, it's getting a little dark in the outfield just because the sun's starting to settle below the trees. The lights are on, but aren't really helping yet. It's that tough time of day to see right now, especially for the outfield.
And what's the field like generally here?
It's not bad. It's a good ball field. It's the only baseball field with lights on in St. Clair County, so that helps.
Well, here's a wild pitch, and they give him a base. So Engel ends up on third. On the wild pitch, Big Reds threatening to tie here.
You're talking about the field. I mean, the field's had a lot of action. This is the home field for the community college, St. Clair County Community College Skippers. And then they have a County Mac League. They have a Wood Bat League here during the summer. So this field gets a lot of action throughout the summer.
Ground ball to third. Good glove. Toss across the diamond, and he got him. That's a strong play by number 9, Seppo, who I guess was just brought in. And you're right, they do love to make their changes.
Yeah, with free substitution, they're able to do that here in high school ball, and Coach Dwyer takes advantage of it.
15, Durand Ashford. Might be the last hope to get this run in here in the second inning. That one missed by a lot. Hit the dirt first, ball 1.
Good block by Zondelak on that one.
Certainly looks like a fine defensive catcher.
Catchers do take a beating, especially in high school ball.
But why in the world would anybody want to be a catcher in the first place?
It's fun.
Well, matter of opinion maybe there.
Well, you stop and think that what other position are you in on every pitch?
Sure. Oh, maybe big guy in the playground growing up, and where else do you put him? Not to say Zondelak is that way, but, there are a lot of kids that are.
Yep. But, you stop and think catcher is really the one who controls the game.
Right.
He controls the tempo of the game. A lot of times he's the one who calls the pitches.
Weak swing, outside pitch to Durand Ashford for a strike. And that brings the count to 1-2. Very important that the Big Reds capitalize on this chance here to tie this ball game. That one caught the outside corner, and that's going to end the inning. The Big Reds threatened but failed to score, and after 2 complete from Sanborn Park, the Battle of Port Huron sees Huskies on top of the Big Reds 1-0. CPHS, Channel 6. Third inning action about to commence here from Sanborn Park. Again, CPHS Channel 6. Port Huron Area School District Television Station, Big Reds and Huskies Baseball Network. Derek Work, the Big D, Terry Harrington joining me. Start of the third inning. What's your thoughts so far? Low-scoring affair?
That's kind of be expected. We're just about through the first time all the way through the lineups, and I think in the middle innings, that's when we'll start seeing some of the action.
Number 6, Kevin Burns shows bunt, foul back. The second baseman for Northern. So the Huskies just about all the way through the order for the first time. Harrington back on deck again. He is the game's only run thus far. Crimmon's next delivery, slow off-speed pitch right to Galanos. Throws it across to Watson, gets the out. 1 away.
No, it's like in any sport, whether you're at the major league level, the collegiate level, or high school level, pitching is really the key. If you've got a pitcher who can throw strikes, your team can go a long way. And we're seeing Crimmon starting to settle down here in the third inning.
Galanos really smooth over there at shortstop, making that play look pretty easy. Looks like there is the odd little rut in the infield. Here's Harrington. A couple of balls to start this off. He's seen a lot of them so far. Just trying to get him to throw pitches right now. And the next one from Crimmon's missed by a ton. They scared to throw to him, or what's going on here?
Well, I don't know. I think he knows he's a good hitter. He's one of the leading hitters for the Huskies, batting .323 this season. So he's
good season by his standards, or what?
Not bad. Yeah, good year.
Crimmins right down the middle, and 3-1. He was looking at that one all the way. On deck 34, Tyler Thomas. Well, the second walk for Eric Harrington. Doing what a leadoff hitter should, getting on base, and that'll bring up Thomas.
You know, with players like him, and you see a lot of the major league players, especially the leadoff, where they get a lot of walks, you really wish they would look at the on-base percentage rather than the batting average, because that really does tell the story. Can that kid get on base?
So we'll see if he runs again. He already has a stolen base in this one, got it in the first. Well, Tyler Thomas flied to left his first trip. And they're going to watch Harrington now. 2 throwovers. Crimmins, the lefty, obviously harder to run on a left-hander. Never understood that in the game of baseball, why a lefty could cheat like that and a righty's got to step off the mound, but I didn't write the rules of the game, so.
Well, they got to give a lefty some advantage because this is a righty's world.
Yes, it is.
But what an advantage, being a young kid who's got a good, strong arm and playing as a lefty. What an advantage they have.
Right. There goes Harrington. They tried this sack, or the bunt and run, if you will, and fouled off.
Yeah, Northern doesn't have a lot of power, so they got to play a lot of small ball. And I think that's probably been the biggest drawback the Huskies have had all season. They don't have any power. I shouldn't say they don't have any power. They don't have a lot of power.
And in this day and age, you don't get a lot of runs if you don't, really.
Exactly,
that's the way baseball's gone, so.
Yep.
Crimmins. That one's low. Fly ball. Right field. Easy play, Travis Washington. And the out is made for the second out of the inning. But when it comes to left-handers, whether it's a left-handed pitcher or a left-handed hitter, is it true what they say that you're going to get looked at a little bit more, especially as a pitcher, maybe a situational lefty, no matter really how good you are?
I think you are. I mean, you take a look, even with the Huskies lineup, they only have, three or four left-handed batters, even counting some of the JV kids. So everybody you're facing is right-handed. So as a left-handed pitcher, that gives you an advantage.
Number 26, James McMillan. Speaking of lefty, here's one right now. Struck out swinging his first trip. Got a nice looking bat in his hand anyway. Lines it with that bat and a solid single to right. Harrington's going to hold it second. Yes. So there's McMillan's first hit of the night. Gets Harrington to second and in scoring position for Alex Zonlak.
And for the Huskies, that is their first hit of the night. So.
Yeah, always nice when you can go through the order and have a run to show for it, but no hits to show for it.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and Northern's been no hit twice this season, so they've had their struggles this year, but they've also played some good ball too.
Were they no hit recently? Was it Bay City who got them?
Bay City Western in the four-sport Blue Water Classic last weekend.
And what was the attitude after a game like that? I mean, what's the attitude of a team after they get no hit?
It's kind of tough, but they knew they had another game coming up the next day, so let's just forget this one and get ready to play the next game.
Fly ball center field on a line. Fine catch by Brad Davies to end the inning. Definitely saved one run and maybe two. After 2.5, still Huskies on top of the Big Reds, 1-0. CPHS Channel 6.
And this game's gonna, I think, starting to settle down to be a pretty good pitcher's duel. From what I've seen so far. Now we've got Tyler Peters coming on to the mound for the Huskies. We'll see what happens here. And one thing about doing that though, it's hard for the hitting team, because now every time they come up the bat, they've got to find and figure out what this next pitcher is going to be doing.
But surely this team does not have this many pitchers. I mean, is he going to come out and throw 7 of them today? He's on pace for it.
I know he regularly has like 5 or 6 kids that pitch, so I'm not sure what he's going to be doing as the game progresses here. But also, he's got to prepare for Saturday's game against Anchor Bay in the districts as well.
I guess the Huskies went, 1-2 in that 4-sports tournament, from what I read.
Yes, they did. They beat Ann Arbor Pioneer and beat them convincingly, and then struggled against Bay City Western before they ran into Birmingham Seaholm. the Maples band. It was a close game into about the 4th inning, and then Seaholm broke it open. Had a big 5-run inning, and that just kind of took the wind out of the Husky sails at that point.
But generally, they do expect good, solid competition in that tournament, and they say a tune-up for the districts, do they not?
Oh, they do, and that's a big reason why they bring these teams in. They brought 4 teams in from out of state that none of the high schools around here play. Port Huron, Marysville, St. Clair, and Northern all played in the tournament. And they brought in Bay City Western, Ann Arbor Pioneer, Birmingham Seaholm, and so you start bringing some of these other teams in. It gives you a different look, a little different competition, and like you said, hopefully get you prepared for the districts. Unfortunately for both Port Huron High and for Northern, that last week they played an awful lot of ball because both teams had a couple of makeup games because of some bad weather.
Do you see a big difference in the talent level, though, in that 4 sports tournament, the competition they're playing? Is it any different? Are they more powerful teams? Do they pitch better? Or
I don't know. From what I saw in the tournament this last weekend, the teams were pretty evenly matched, except for maybe 1 or 2 players. For both Pioneer and for Birmingham, they had a couple of kids that could smoke the ball. I mean, they hit long home runs. So if you got a good power hitter batting in the middle of the lineup, so many different things a coach can do.
But these Port Huron teams, as far as you're concerned, can both play with teams of that caliber.
They can play. Pitching may be a little weak too, but it's not that we're going to be embarrassed by playing those teams.
Bottom of the 3rd, Travis Washington, the right fielder, made the final out of the Huskies half of the 3rd, leading off the inning. Number 12. Swings at the second pitch, right straight back to Tyler Peters. Throws to first, got the out.
A real key for anybody, especially at this level, if you can keep that ball down and get a lot of ground balls, you're going to have some success playing high school baseball.
Evan Redmond over there at first base now. They keep making changes, so again, you warned me about this too, didn't you?
Yep, and we got Beans here at third base. Eric Sheridan. That's another one.
Crimmins, the hitter, straight up the middle for a base hit. So Crimmins helping his own cause here in the 3rd. So now something I've never really heard of up until now, the extra hitter. I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but I guess you learn something every day, and that's what I've learned today. Pat Kostanecki for the Big Reds.
Yep, the extra hitter, just an opportunity to get another player into the game, and, why not? Especially in a game that's your crosstown rivals, you want to get everybody in this game.
Does Northern usually use one, or is that?
No, I've seen just about every game Northern's played this year. I don't believe they've used either the DH or the extra hitter.
A really nice night here too, Sanborn Park. Always a nice park. People doing a whole bunch of stuff outside of baseball here. That one right down the middle. Peters, pretty solid control thus far. The 9th hitter for the Big Reds, Kostanecki. Or should I say the 10th? There you go, see? There's that extra hitter. But nonetheless, the last hitter of the order. Then the leadoff hitter, Charlie Watson, will be back. Interesting, too, Charlie Watson, a very tall leadoff hitter. Peters, the pitch, bounces in the dirt. Good block again by Zondlak. Both catchers have really had to earn their keep today, boy, with their bounces in front of the plate. And just missing with curveballs, or what's going on there?
I think, maybe overthrown just a little bit, a little excited. Again, with Northern changing pitchers every inning. Gets that adrenaline flowing for each of those guys, and it takes them a couple of batters to settle down.
Low fastball here, blows it right by him, strike 3, 2 outs. So it seems at any time that the Big Reds can get a rally going. Shut right down by solid defense by the Huskies in pitching.
Yep, and that's, that's been a key for Northern. If they can play consistently like this, they got a good chance.
Number 6, Watson. First base is up now. Swung at the first pitch of the game back in the first, and just a little one hopper to the pitcher. Something, again, you don't like to see as a head coach, but Looked at a pitch there, being a little bit more choosy this time. Big Red's trying to get anything going after a 1-0 Husky lead. Strong play here, shortstop. Tosses across to Redmond. And the inning is over. I believe Seppo on the play, and that will end 3 from Sanborn Park. We're after 3 complete. Still 1-0 Huskies on top. Again, Derek Work, the Big D. Terry Harrington, CPHS, Channel 6. Welcome back, 4th inning. Sanborn Park, Battle of Port Huron, and the Huskies on top of the Big Reds, 1-0. Again, the run came in the 1st inning. Huskies, no hits in that inning, but they got a run on strong base running by Harrington.
And you know, one thing in high school baseball, walks always come back to haunt you. Always.
Well, any baseball, I would think.
Yeah, that's the Tiger pitching right now.
Yeah, you had to mention the Tigers, huh?
You know, I am a baseball.
My night was going so well.
I'm a baseball fan, what can I say?
There you go. Jeremy Brown quickly in an 0-2 hole. Perfect situation for Crimmins, who really has not looked that bad in his own right thus far.
No, he's been very effective.
Well, that's just a nice pitch. Off speed, got him. Strike 3.
That's one thing you're going to find, too, at this level. Kids really struggle with that curveball or slider. Change-ups, they can pretty much adjust, but those breaking balls, a lot of kids really have a hard time just being patient, waiting for that pitch.
In 0-2, you got to probably know what's coming, right?
You would think.
Seppo, who has checked into the game and playing a variety of positions. I'd like to say shortstop. He was there last inning. Check that, I guess this is Fidel again, number 8. Thought it said 9. Or it is 9.
It is 9.
Okay,
yeah.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Ground ball, first base. Watson bobbles it a little bit, but eventually gets to the bag and the putout. So Seppo was out. Ground out to first base. 2 down.
Tyler Wagner coming in for the Huskies. Another one of the juniors.
What do you make of the junior talent on this Husky team?
They've got some good talent. You know, they got some pitching depth, which will help. Got some guys who love to play baseball, so that makes a big difference. Not to say that the seniors don't. They love to play baseball too. I mean, they've been playing for 4 years, so tells you they do like the game.
Well, he helped him out there big time. Pitch way in the dirt, swung and missed. Kind of lunged for it, a little bit eager. But you got to see that as Crimmins and keep on doing it. I mean, they're helping him out right now. Crimmins the windup and the delivery. Blows it right by him, strike 3. We go to the bottom of the 4th, still 1-0. Huskies on top, CPHS, Channel 6, and we'll see if the Big Reds can tie this ball game up.
I will see who got Jordan Kerr coming up on the mound, so this is really going to throw out the Big Red hitters because he is a lefty. And he's been one of the consistent pitchers for the Huskies this year as well.
The Big Reds will have Davis, Galanos, and Engel, the catcher, due up this inning. Sometimes a lot of these lefties, too, they come in there and they kind of, a lot of times the situational lefties, they'll come in there with a lot of herky-jerky, different kind of movements that'll definitely throw off the hitter. You kind of sense that with this?
No, not with Jordan. I mean, he's a starter for the Northern. He's like the number 3 in the rotation. And, you know, he's just, you know, comes over the top, doesn't do anything fancy, just throws strikes.
And how do you do on the weekend?
Trying to remember.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot there. I figure the man with all the stats, he must know.
Yeah, I should know, but, you know, that was a few days ago. But no, he pitched one of the games, and if I remember correctly, he pitched the Saturday game against Seaholm and was very effective the first 3 innings, and then they got to him after that.
So you got the 2 different teams from Port Huron playing 2 different styles of baseball. This Husky team, basically, they put names in a hat, and whatever they draw out of the hat, that's where they're going for position.
Seems like it. I don't know. The players have a system. They determine who's going where when, and I'm not quite sure how they do that. That's why I'm sitting where I'm sitting.
Right. And the Big Reds, of course, the conventional style. Davis, this one's going to be down the line. He might try for two. Davis rounds first. There's going to be a play at second base. Davis gets there. The tag is made and just gets in behind the tag. Does Jeremy Davis with a solid double.
The throw was there. A good, strong throw from the left fielder, but Tyler Wagner just missed the tag on that one. That's why you put a pitcher in left field, I guess.
Pretty good arm. Throw, like you said, on the money, but
just missed the tag.
Kerr, that one missed inside. As now up right now, Jordan Galanos. Another runner in scoring position. Big Reds have failed a couple of times with runners in scoring position in this game, so they'd like to capitalize this time. Next pitch is high. 2-0 the count on Galanos. Certainly a good count right now for a hitter. Lefty on righty has the advantage there as well. Didn't even come close. And it's a 3-0 count. Certainly a big plus to get that runner in scoring position with nobody out, and the first hitter of the inning, too. Davis the lead from second. Pitch high and inside, and Galanos draws the walk. So the Big Reds get their first two hitters onto the inning, and Anthony Engel comes up. Now keep in mind the cleanup hitter, and he also doubled in his first trip, so this is kind of a dangerous situation for Kerr and the Huskies.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, anytime you get the lead, first two guys on in an inning, that's there's a potential for a big inning right there. So Northern's got to come up with some good strikes and some good defense here to hold them down.
Engel, one of the strong pitchers for Port Huron in his own right. Of course, not throwing tonight. Crimmon's doing a fine job. Kerr, that one missed by a lot. He's having some control trouble now. Wild pitch. And it gets by the catcher, this time Zondlak. Is he the only one not switching?
No, Andrew Fidel also catches. Andrew Seppel does a little bit of catching. Eric has done some catching, but it's mainly Alex Zondlak. I think we'll be seeing Andrew Fidel probably next inning.
Blows this one right by Engel. Well, he got a piece of it straight back.
I'm not sure. I'm sure Coach Scott Nichols is real happy with that one. He threw 5 straight balls and he's swinging on the first strike. So a lot of learning to do yet.
Comes down to discipline, really.
Yes, it does.
But this guy's got a lot of talent. There's no doubt about it. This might be deep enough. We'll see. Tagging Davis. Catch is made. Cutoff man hit. That's going to tie the baseball game.
Good sac fly there.
So manufacturing runs, if you will. Fly out to left. And that'll bring up Brad Davies, another dangerous hitter for the Big Reds. We've got a tie ball game here in the fourth.
Now, there's not going to be too many outfielders who's going to be able to throw a runner out on a sacrifice fly like that.
There's a heads-up shot, Brad Davies, right into the bullpen of the Huskies. That'll wake any of them up that might be sleeping over there.
And you got your glove here, right? Sitting right behind
our
third
obstructional
base.
view here,
Yeah.
I don't have to worry.
Just like the old Tiger Stadium.
Which, might I add, I miss a great deal.
Or was it exhibition there in Toronto where you used to go?
Oh, don't ever bring up that stadium again, please, I beg.
I got to see one ball game there. That was
Did
a lot
you?
of fun. Yeah, just before they closed it. That was fun.
Just sit in the bench section or the seats?
Bench section.
Oh, yeah, the great old outfield.
Hey, free tickets, can't complain, you know?
Fly ball center field. This might drop, and it does. And they hold up Galanos. Strong arm from center fielder, but because they missed the cutoff man, going into second base, standing up, Brad Davies. That's going to be a single, and then an error on the center fielder. I'd love to give you his name, but again, they're playing musical positions. So.
Jansen Southgate. And here comes Coach Dwyer out to try to settle his pitcher down.
Again, if you're wondering, it's righties pretty much for Kerr, so if they do decide to put 18 here, Mike Page on, they would face Ashford. Might not be a bad choice anyway, the way Page hits.
Yeah, he's been struggling at the plate a little bit. He's batting .255 on the season, but he does have a lot of power for the Big Reds. got 5 extra base hits, 8 ribbies, so yeah, you can put the bat on the ball.
Strikes at opportune times, I guess.
But yeah, you think 8 RBIs and all that, oh, that's kind of low. But yeah, remember, these kids only play about 25 games, so not a lot of opportunities.
Page waits on the first one from Kerr. That one missed, I believe it missed outside. The second offering way outside, and that'll be 2-0.
I'm sure they're not intentionally walking him, but they're not giving them anything to hit either.
Well, you want the force too, right?
Yeah, that helps, and especially you got the weaker part of the lineup coming up.
And it will be interesting to see too if Durand Ashford, when he comes up to bat, if the Huskies elect to have the infield play in, or if they will take the double play ball at this level. I suppose you never know.
Generally, Coach Roy will play him in. That way, if you get a ground ball, you can throw to the plate for a force out and get that lead runner.
Kerr with the off-speed one right down the middle, and that'll be a 3-1 count now. So good hitter's pitch for Page. Ducks on the pond. Galanos and as well Brad Davies. And we have a full count now. Again, just 1 out on the inning. Sac fly, tied the baseball game. That one just missed inside. Some of the fans not really liking that call, but it's a walk and the bases are now loaded for left fielder Durand Ashford. Ashford struck out looking, I believe, in the second.
One thing that's fun with these crosstown rivalries, Durand's father, Tony Moncrief, is a Northern graduate who also played in the Oakland system for a while. So how does Dad go here? You want the alma mater to win? Nah, you better go for his son.
Does he have a choice?
Yeah, I would say not.
Ashford swings at the first pitch, maybe sending a message to his team to get him going right into the dugout. Look out. So the strike one pitch. That one high, 1-1. Again, nowhere to put Ashford. Bases are loaded. Again, a 1-1 game, bottom of the fourth. Big Reds have had their share of base runners in the game. Ashford, fly ball left field. Tagging up is Galanos. Throw on one bounce, hits the cutoff man, nice job. But the Big Reds have taken the lead 2-1.
And 2 sacrifice flies. How often do you see that?
Especially at this level.
Yep.
So the second out of the inning, that'll bring up number 12, Travis Washington, right fielder. 0 for 1 in the game. Another victim of the very popular in this game, might I add, bounce out to the pitcher.
It seems like we've had a number of those tonight, Everett, already.
Ground ball, that's a fair ball, steps right on the base, and that's going to end the fourth. 4 complete from Sanborn Park. Big Reds have taken the lead, 2-1. You're watching CPHS Channel 6, Port Huron Area School District Television Station. Derek Work, the Big D. Terry Harrington joining me tonight as well. Back with the fifth in a moment. Well, we're back to Sanborn Park now, CPHS Channel 6. Now the Battle of Port Huron, baseball-wise, so far belongs to the Big Reds. Their one and only meeting of the year. And the Port Huron Northern Huskies trail right now, 2-1. But a good game nonetheless, low scoring. We mentioned it though, the Huskies just 1 hit. So they've got to certainly remedy that. 23 Tyler Peters trying to start it off, fouls off the pitch. Peters, surprise, surprise, bounced out to the pitcher. Again, a very nice night here too. Sun's starting to go down.
No breeze whatsoever. And just a light cloud in the sky, so that makes for a great backdrop.
Getting a little cool. I don't like that considering June's right around the corner, but not really baseball weather yet, is it?
Better than the weather than we had for the Blue Water Classic, because it was cold, especially the games up at Northern. That wind right off the lake.
Has there been a lot of cancellations this year for weather-wise?
We've had, I think, 2 or 3. We played a couple of games in the rain as well. It's mostly the cold that we battle up here.
Peters, bad hop to Galanos, throws anyway and just beats it out. That's the start they want. You'd probably have to say error shortstop.
I would
you?
say E6.
Hey, last batter, Trim.
A couple of them have bounced funny on Galanos today. I'm not sold that this infield is a real good one or a real favorable one to the infielders for ground balls in the first place.
It's not bad. I mean, it's pretty solid, but you can see it's a lot of dust, so you haven't had much rain around here, and they don't water the field, so it's pretty dry. So it's going to be a little harder what you'd really like.
Ninth hitter Kevin Burns, solid bunt. Crimmins bobbles it, underhands it, and everybody's going to be safe. So the Huskies get more out of that than they could certainly ask for. And I'm nominating you as official scorekeeper. What's that one?
I think we have to give him an E1 on that one, too. I'm not sure if he slipped on that because he was basically down on his knees when he went to field it, and that was bunted pretty hard. I mean, it was definitely for a sacrifice.
I would think we'll see the exact same thing here from Harrington. A sack bunt try. Or that's what I'd do anyway. Bunt, drag bunt attempt, fouls it to the right side, 0-1. So he's having quite the interesting game thus far, Terry. 2 walks and a bunt attempt here, so not really swinging the bat, but he doesn't have to.
No, taking what they're giving him. That's what good players do.
So the 0-1 pitch to Harrington. Lobs this one over Page's head. Galanos, I can't believe he's even attempting to make that play. It's an infield single, and the bases are loaded. So 2 unfortunate errors by the Big Reds. Single by Harrington. Coming up now, Ty Thomas with none out.
And this is a classic example of the small ball the Huskies have played all season long. Trying to manufacture something.
Here comes Scott Nichols out to talk to Crimmins. Thus far, he hasn't really been in much trouble. Just Harrington scoring in the first inning. That's been about it. Again, before this inning, we talked about it, Terry, just 1 hit. And sometimes you can get a little bit overconfident, but let's face it, Crimmins has looked pretty good on the whole today.
Yeah, yes, he has. The Huskies have only had base runners in the first and the third innings until this one. Other than that, they've gone down 1, 2, 3. So looks like Coach Nichols is just trying to, not really here to talk so much about Chris, but he's trying to position his players a little bit to see if they can't come up with a double play or prevent that run from scoring.
Well, Page is in at third. And also Watson, I think, in at first. And the 2 middle infielders back for the double play, as you mentioned. Tyler Thomas here really has to be patient. Because in this situation, you're going to get your pitch. He might have had it right there or fouled it straight back.
And just taking a look at Chris Crimmins' pitch count, he's only 43 pitches coming into this inning, so he's been very efficient tonight, so he still should have a lot left.
Especially considering they play, 7?
Yes.
Thomas has got to be patient here. That one bounced before the plate, 1-1.
No place to put him.
Do you kind of get over anxious in this situation with the bases loaded?
I think you do. Especially with the Huskies, how they struggled some this year, and when you're playing your crosstown rivals, you want to do well, and yeah, it comes into play, I'm sure.
2-1. That one bounced in the dirt again. Crimmins continues to pitch low. And I would think he's got to throw a strike here. He certainly doesn't want to go to 3-1. This is high, and it is 3-1. So what do you think? Do you give him the old take pitch here?
I'm not sure. 3-1 is really a good hitter's count, but yeah, when you're struggling, but just getting the ball on the ground, you got a chance for a run, and that would tie it up.
Thomas, the 3-1 count. Crimmins, the pitch. Swings and fouls it back. Off the bounce. Now the count is full, 3-2. Again, top of the 5th inning. 2-1. Big Reds on top of the Huskies. None out. Bases are loaded. Tyler Thomas, the full count pitch. Crimmins delivers, strike 3, swung on and missed. That is an absolutely huge out for Crimmins.
That's what he needed right there. Couldn't have asked for anything better.
So James McMillan, he singled in 2 trips tonight.
And James is also one of the team leaders with RBIs with 10 for the season.
Always nice to have a left-handed hitter like that right in the middle of your order.
You bet.
Or I guess the heart of the order. First pitch is a ball. Again, it's tough when you have the bases loaded and you continue to fall behind hitters. And McMillan would very much like to do this time what he did last time, solid single to right. Swung on this time off of Anthony Engel. The foul ball.
Boy, both catchers are taking a beating back here tonight.
Right. But you've said it's been really cold for a lot of these ball games and a few cancellations. Well, tonight at least it's kind of favorable.
It's not bad. It's a good night to be playing. Actually, any day's a good day to play baseball.
That one just missed outside corner. Crimmins wanted the call. And now I believe, 3-1. So again, another good hitters count. Check that 3-1 now. Again, we have no scoreboard to tell us this, depending on my fine statistician.
As long as the ink pen doesn't run out.
The pitch to McMillan. That one low, and the Huskies are given a run here.
They'll take it.
One of the rules, again, of baseball where you wonder where it came from. An RBI for a walk with the bases loaded, but hey, the hitter will take it.
Well, the hitter had to be patient at the plate and make sure he's only swinging, selectively at good pitches. So I guess they earn it. The intentional pass is the one I don't like.
Right.
Nobody earns anything on that one.
You must not be a big fan of Barry Bonds then.
No.
2-2 the score now. Or should I say 2-2. And still control trouble. Crimmins continues to play with fire here in the fifth. The pitch. Oh, a low call. He got a call there, I think. That's a ball that I don't think too many hitters are going to hit.
No, on the first strike, just let it go.
Swings at this one, fouls it back. And a low one like that, too. You'd think probably, 7 times out of 10 it's going to be hit on the ground and possible double play ball, right? So you're better to leave it.
Yep, you don't want to do that. You got some decent speed on the bases right now for the Huskies.
So we'll see if Zondlak can cash them in. This one bounces. It's going to be a wild pitch. No play at the plate. Huskies get another one. It is now Huskies 3, Big Reds 2. 2 runs and
now that changes everything for Port Huron's defense, because now the force is not in play with only 1 out and runners on second and third. That's huge.
So Zondlak here, a single now would put him up 5-2. So 31 Zondlak trying to be choosy up there. Crimmins now steps off the mound. Had kind of a tough inning, but for 3 innings, he looked like he was settling down. And you mentioned, Terry, coming into the inning, very effective pitch count. Galanos bobbles the ball, coming to the plate anyway. Beats the tag. Harrington is in for the Husky 4th run.
That play was huge, and a great slide by Eric as he slid around the catcher, trying to make that sweep tag.
I would think Galanos has the out there if he fields that cleanly, because I think he was thinking of coming home initially.
And I think what he did, he looked up to see where the runner was, and that was just that split second was enough to take the eye off the ball and bobble it just a little bit.
Well, it's human nature, right? We've all done that.
Heavens, yes. And remember, these are only 16, 17-year-old kids. We expect way too much of them sometimes, I think.
So a 4-2 game now. Huskies have the lead back. Top of the 5th. 0-0 Jeremy Brown. Third base. Steps off here. Runner running to second, and I think he missed the tag, and I think that's a good call.
Northern does a play. I don't know what they call it, but it's kind of a delayed steal, where the runner will take off like Colby Brooks just did, kind of go part way, and you notice how he hesitated. Then seeing what the defense is going to do, and then if they make the play down to second, then the guy on third base will take off. But in this case, the ball never came to the plate.
This one right to Galanos. This time they have runner trapped. Watson running at second base, and yes, they do. They get the out. So a great double play for the Big Reds and a base running error for the Huskies that I'm sure they'd like to have back. But a huge break for Port Huron, who kept their cool, and a fine play by Watson after 4.5. But the Huskies have got the lead back. They're up 4-2. CPHS Channel 6. Well, all kinds of action on that one.
Oh, my.
Do I even want to say how to score it at home? You're the statistician. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that one out too. So, but I went to what was it? 1-3 for the first out, and then 3 over to 4 for the second out.
I think it went to Galanos initially, didn't it?
I believe it did. Yes.
Okay.
I know. I got too excited trying to write it all down.
Right. I can't blame you there. To the bottom of the fifth now, and disappointing inning for the Big Reds. They're trying to tie it up again now and get back into it anyway. But 4-2, they went into the inning 2-1 on top.
3 runs on 1 hit, though. I mean, Northern took advantage.
They sure did. Errors starting to pile up, too, for the Big Reds.
Yep. I counted 2 that inning.
Do I even want to talk about how many they've got in total?
I don't think so. These are high school kids.
Well, I said it even in the introduction to this game, though, Terry, is that Port Huron very much has beaten themselves this year.
Yeah, both teams have struggled, with that. Just that untimely error. I mean, there's never a good time for an error, but it just seems like they just come at the wrong time, and that just opens the door for the other team. And we just saw an example of that right here.
Difficult to keep your composure, too, in a situation like this. If you're Crimmins about to have the at-bat when, you're just pitching and kind of fell behind a little bit.
Well, he's struggling a little bit, so that kind of puts your defense back on the heels, so it puts a little pressure on them. And then, then I get a couple of errors, and it affects the concentration, and you just, you don't want to see those things happen, and things can kind of spiral.
New pitcher, by the way, on the mound. Jansen Southgate, by the looks of things for the Huskies. Back to the more conventional, I guess, right-handed motion.
And he's another one of those juniors you're going to hear a lot about next year.
So we'll see how he handles the bottom of the fifth.
I think Jansen started a couple games, but he's come in relief 2 or 3 times as well. And he's earned a couple of wins in relief, too.
Crimmins trying to help his own cause. That one right down the middle for strike 1.
Chris will struggle a little bit at the plate this year. He's only batting 132. 38 trips to the plate for the year. 13 strikeouts.
That one high and inside. 1-1. Big Reds looking for more base runners. Anything right now, after the Huskies had their fair share of base runners in that last inning. And we said it, not many hits to show for the Huskies, but you don't always need it in this game.
No. 2 hits is what I have in the book for Northern.
Does that kind of frustrate the opposing manager, too? Is Scott Nichols, do you think, right now, maybe a little bit frustrated?
I think he's a little frustrated. walks and not some good fielding, and that makes a difference. Those are things you can control.
One thing you can also control here, where to park.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these foul balls here, I'm telling you, like I'm way at the back, and a lot of times people that don't know a lot about baseball park right behind the backstop, and they pay for it.
Good thing there's trees in the parking lot.
Right. Swinging right through this one, the high and outside pitch. Crimmins the victim of the strikeout.
That's the kind of play that'll make a coach cringe. Swinging at balls that are out of the strike zone, especially when your team's down.
So Southgate off to a good start here in the fifth. Certainly must be fun for a lot of these kids, too, to keep playing different positions. That's one thing about it, where you might not play every day, and suddenly you're, hello, center field, that can be interesting to watch, too, I'm sure, how some of these kids adapt.
Mm-hmm. And, it gives the coach an idea to see where we can play players during the summer league and then during next season.
How is that summer league, by the way? I'm telling you.
It's kind of fun. Northern over the last few years has played in a couple of leagues. They play in the County Mac Wood League here at Sanborn. And, of course, playing with wood bats, that's always a little interesting. And then they also play in the South Macomb Baseball Conference.
Okay.
And that 2 years ago, the Huskies, this year's seniors, played on that team, and they had a chance. They won that league and earned the right to play in the High School World Series down in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Quite a thrill.
So that made for a great summer for the boys.
Jeremy Rohde hitting, by the way, for Kostanecki. But as for this a wooden bat league, would you say less production hitting-wise, more production with the wood, or at this level?
I would say it's probably about the same. You're not going to see the deep hits.
Southgate blows another one by yet another Big Red. Back-to-back K2s. And we have another replacement here. Michael Johnson, number 20, comes in for Watson.
Good to see both coaches getting everybody in.
You talk about excellent football players again. Here's another one.
Yes.
Excellent corner.
Kid with some wheels. He was good in Little League. He was one of those kids coaches always wanted because he had some speed.
And you've said, what, you've been a Little League coach, have you, in the past?
Yes, fortunately, I had the privilege of coaching my son from T-ball all the way up through 16-year-olds. So I've got a chance to see kids on both teams and coach a number of them, too. So this is a lot of fun, be able to see them all play together and in their careers at the same time.
This Southgate really looks like he's throwing hard right now, so that's certainly nice to see. As you said, just a junior, so a bright next year for this guy. Especially with as hard as he's throwing as a junior.
But he still has to throw strikes.
Right. So Michael Johnson now. I think 3-1, and he walks.
2 all walks are killers. That's what will give coach a heart or ulcers, you know.
Well, I'd rather have 2 out walks than none out walks, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeremy Davis stays in the game. The second baseman for the Big Reds, 1 for 2. He hit a double in this one.
One thing was Scott Nichols. He's got a small squad. He only had 13 players available tonight. So it makes it a little easier for him to get players in and out, where Northern has 15. So makes a little bit of difference, but still want these guys to produce and make sure everybody gets in the game.
First pitch from Southgate to Davis, just missed inside. Thought it looked good from this angle. Next one right down the middle. Took something off that fastball to make sure he threw a strike. And it's 1-1. Southgate watching the runner. Michael Johnson, who probably will run eventually here. Getting the signs from Nichols. Very important here as a hitter, too, to keep your discipline and find out what the base runner's doing, isn't it? Swung and missed. That's an obvious hit and run. Throw down, and the throw initially beat Michael Johnson to the bag, but Johnson slid under it.
Looked like the ball popped on Kevin Burns just as the runner got there. It's really tough when the ball and the runner all get there all at the same time.
And no matter what anybody tells you, tie goes to the runner definitely does not exist in the game of baseball.
It's supposed to.
I'm a firm believer that the umpire is going to call him out 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
I really am. Well, this one caught the corner, and a great job, outstanding job by Jansen Southgate, mowing him down in the 5th. That's the end of 5 complete from Sanborn Park. Huskies, a 4-2 lead over the Big Reds, the Battle of Port Huron. Derek Work, the Big D, Terry Harrington, CPHS, Channel 6. Back with the 6th in a moment. Top of the 6th inning. Crimmin still in the game for PH, trailing 4-2. To the Huskies, a Battle of Port Huron in baseball. Kind of sad they only play each other 1 time a year, but nonetheless, again, CPHS Channel 6, Derek Work, Terry Harrington. Thoughts on the game so far, Terry? You think maybe what you thought, or
Pretty much what I was expecting tonight.
as low scoring as maybe you thought?
I thought we'd have a little more scoring, but we're still early yet. Got a couple innings to go. Andrew's another one of those kids. His dad, his uncles all played for Port Huron High, and he's out here swinging the bat for Northern. So that's what this rivalry is all about.
Block, Frank.
Andrew Seppo watches that one bounce before the plate. You certainly can't fault Chris Crimmins for the game he's played, though. All the errors made behind him, and basically he's still out there in the 6th inning, and he's done a heck of a job, I think. I mean, you got to realize, too, the Big Reds haven't been swapping positions like the Huskies have. They have a new pitcher relatively every inning.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what's keeping the Big Red batters off balance a little bit. But no, he's doing a good job.
Seppo, the ground out. His first at bat. That one high, and he swings and misses. Strike 3. So Crimmins staying sharp at least, despite trailing 4-2.
Mike, we got one.
And it's amazing they have all these runs on just a couple of hits.
Yeah, that is amazing. But again, Northern's been playing small ball all season, and tonight they were able to take advantage. We'll see if it'll hold for the rest of the game.
Tyler Wagner up. 44, first pitch to him, a strike. Wagner hits from the left side. Pop up, right at second base. And Jeremy Davis camps under it, makes the play. 2 outs, just like that.
Quick inning for Crimmins here. After struggling a little bit in that 5th inning where he loaded the bases and nobody out. So it's good to see him coming back.
Number 23, Tyler Peters now, up to bat. Huskies trying to add to their 4-2 lead. It's getting late in the game now, top of the 6th.
Tyler's the one who got it started in that last inning, getting on base on an error and coming around to score.
Not doing very good right now. Well, we're winning, but
That one bounces before him for a ball. And now the Huskies look to have Tyler Thomas coming in too, next inning. 2-1 the count. That one a little bit low, 3-1. Peters 0 for 2.
Come back, no fees, man.
Hit into an error his last time up, and eventually led to a run too. Foul ball this time, 3-2. And of course, his first time up, he tapped back to the pitcher.
The swinging butt.
Certainly they say a bunting, a bit of a lost art, but you kind of get the feeling these two teams have some kids that can pull it off.
You know, but that's not something we've seen a lot this year.
No?
Seen it a few times, but not that often.
Quite a few attempts in this game anyway. Foul ball, I don't know how those balls are missing those cars. Smoke and mirrors, I guess.
And just take a look at Northern stats. They've had 6 sacrifice bunts this year. So, you
You have a stat for everything over here.
Well, Rusty Fournier is the statistician for the team. He does a good job.
Right on. The walk to Peters. Again, 2 outs in the 6th. 4-2, Huskies on top, and this will be Kevin Burns. He's 0 for 2 as well. Hit into an error his last time up, also has grounded to shortstop. Well, here's a pass ball, or I guess a wild pitch, if you will.
I'd score that as a wild pitch on that one. Hit the dirt. Those are tough for the catch, especially in the field when it's as dry as this is. And then they've also put a little water around the batter's boxes to try to keep that as firm. You know if that ball's going to skip, if it's going to jump, what's it going to do? And that one just skipped and stayed down on him and went through the wickets.
I also promised EJ I'd give a shout out to the cameraman out there in center. I'm terrible with names, I got to say it. This one high. Standing out there all alone, the Bugs must be a nightmare out there. So I got to credit him for not complaining once. And he's I wouldn't want to be. Would you be standing out there right now?
Hey, it's baseball.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, I always thought being a camera guy would be a lot of fun. But, you know, if you did football or some of those other...
Right.
You're in the elements, let me tell you. But you
So
get paid to play, get to watch it, you know. Except
sure,
for our
why
guys
not?
are volunteers, but,
Right.
you know, if you're doing it professional, you get paid to watch these games. So
Right. Isn't that the job of jobs?
doesn't get any better than that. You've got it.
But anyway, hope a fan will bring him some off, and special shout out to him. Next pitch to Burns. This one's going to drop. Down the line, he's going to hit Washington. They send the runner right around. He's going to score. And an RBI. by Kevin Burns, and that always is going to bring a smile to a coach's face when your 9th hitter single and an RBI.
Just what the Huskies needed right here, and here's Coach Scott Nichols coming out to talk to his pitcher. Last couple innings been a little bit long, and he's taken the ball from Chris Crimmins, shakes his hand, and Chris is leaving the ball game.
And coming in now, we've got number 19, Pat Kostanecki. So there's a reason he was taken out of the game as a hitter so early. He started off as an extra hitter. Now, I'm not sure how the ruling goes. You pull a guy, and I guess you can bring him back as a pitcher if he's, or a positional player if he's an extra hitter. Is that correct?
Well, the way they're playing tonight, you've got free substitution on the defensive side.
Okay.
So even as a pitcher, it still counts as one of the defensive players.
Now, would that be a district rule as well in the finals, or?
I don't believe they would do that in districts, but a lot of that is basically in agreement with the coaches. You know, they talk before the game and say, hey, I'm going to do free substitution, make sure all my guys get in defensively. And if you notice with Northern, the batting order hasn't changed except for a couple of pinch hitters, but defensively they're changed around the field. And so,
right. Yep.
Yeah, so that's an agreement the coaches make. I know, like in the Blue Water Classic, Northern did that on a couple of the games, but the coaches talked ahead of time. Hey, I'm free substituting on defense,
sure,
but we'll let you know when we make the changes in the batting order.
Kostanecki, just a junior.
It looks like he hasn't pitched a whole lot for the Big Reds this year. He's 0-1. But he's only pitched 12 innings. He's got a 1.17 ERA, so hasn't been on the hill a whole lot. So got to be pretty exciting for him to get to face his crosstown rivals. I'm not sure if he was expecting to be able to do that or not.
And I must apologize to the camera people out there. They like to have a little bit of a break. We missed it this time. We were too busy talking, but that's to be expected. Pretty hard to make us be quiet, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, especially when you got a good game going.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but it's been fun working with you, Derek. Had a good time.
Yeah, you too, for sure. You certainly know your Huskies, that's for sure.
Yes, well, when you have one at home. It's
Right.
kind of hard not to, right?
How does he react at home to these games? Does he take losing hard, or is he a good winner, or what's the story?
He's competitive, and he takes winning in stride, and losing, he takes it hard. But once he gets home, and we talk about it a little bit, he's pretty good.
Well, Pops, I hope he's not fined for just hitting a truck, because that's what he just did.
Not mine. Well, you heard the boys in the dugout.
Yeah, they love it, huh?
Oh, of course.
As long as it's not their dad's. The 0-1 pitch. This is going to be a stolen base the whole way. Try to tell him to stay up, but sliding in is Kevin Burns with the stolen base.
And now you've got the coach giving him some instructions to the bench.
Right.
When you're on the bases, watch this pitcher. He found something in his motion that will kind of tip some things off.
Swung at a high one, ground ball right in the middle, hits the gap. They're sending Burns home. Going to be a play at the plate. And Burns avoiding the catcher slightly. Rounding second and going to third hard. Down is Harrington, great wheels. And he gets into third. So the Huskies certainly got more out of that than they could ask for.
Well, he got the bouncing ball up the middle for the RBI, and then the overthrow at the plate allowed the runner to go to third. That is a backbreaker for the pitcher.
A little bit of luck involved there, too. He did swing at a high pitch, but he found the gap.
That's his pitch, though. You can tell these kids that come up through the Little League system, the ones that play with the pitching machine, and especially like with Eric's situation, he was short when he was growing up. And so the pitching machine balls always came in high on him, and that's what he liked.
He's taking the plate this time. There's going to be a throw, beats it. And a 7-2 ball game. I'm not just saying this because you're sitting here, Pops. And I keep calling you Pops, but I think he's really been the Husky player of the game thus far.
Yeah,
I mean, 2 walks, 2 singles, scored twice, stolen base. I can keep going.
He was excited coming into tonight's game, and yeah, you can tell when these kids are excited. He was ready to play ball, and it shows tonight.
So the Huskies have opened up a great big lead this time.
The real key, can the Huskies keep this going into districts and take on Anchor Bay?
I think we're in what, top of the 7th?
Top of the 6th.
Oh, it's the 6th, okay. All right, the 7th. So Again, more opportunity for the Huskies to keep adding on to that lead. Right now, it's pretty big, 7-2. And that's just finding the gap. So the Huskies, balls off their bat, seem to find all the holes. Ty Thomas, solid single between Galanos and Page. So coming up now, James McMillan again. Struck out and singled. And he's 1 for 2 with a walk.
And one thing we've noticed with Northern this year, they'll have a game like this, score a lot of runs, and the next game really struggle at the plate. And we're hoping that doesn't happen this weekend when they go against Anchor Bay in the district game.
Is it a fair tune-up, this game here?
Well, I mean, I would think it is. I mean, you're playing your crosstown rivals, so you know you're going to get a good game, and it helps you to get up to the game. You're into the game because it's your crosstown rivals. Who are maybe playing just another team. Just look out into the dugout on that one. But if you're looking, just playing just another team, another game, you may not be as mentally into the game. So I think that part really helps the kids. And Northern hasn't played since Saturday, so here we are 5 days later. You need a little tune-up to get ready for the district game.
Just to have a game period.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So why not make it your crosstown game?
Sure.
And for Port Huron, this is their last hurrah. They know they're not going to be playing in districts on Saturday because of their loss to Dakota.
This is going to be a stolen base again, I would think. Throw comes in. Actually, they had him with a good throw, I think. Throw went to Galanos and his left side and simply couldn't handle it cleanly. Stolen base.
And that's hard for a shortstop having to come all the way across the bag like that. And in this particular case with the left-handed batter, the shortstop will take the throw from the catcher, where normally it's a second baseman who will do that with the right-handed batter. So that makes it kind of tough having to come across the base to make a play instead of coming to the base.
Next pitch, ground ball. Galanos. Kind of a wild throw, but they do tag him and they get the out to end the 6th for the Huskies. Big Reds bat in their half of the 6th. They trail now by a lot, 7-2. You're watching CPHS, Channel 6, Big Reds and Huskies Baseball Network. So what do you say right now if you're Scott Nichols to the Big Reds and down by 5, 7-2, but not out of it? I mean, 6 outs yet. You can get 5 runs.
Hey, 5 runs in high school baseball is nothing.
Right.
I mean, we've seen 7, 8 runs scored in a game or in an inning, and so you just got to tell your kids, just go up, make sure you're swinging at good strikes, and just take what they give you, and let's get them back. We don't have to get them all back this inning. We've got another inning, so if we get 2 or 3 here, who knows what that'll set the stage for that last inning. So they're not out of it by any stretch.
So again, it's 7-2. Galanos coming up, Anthony Engel as well, and Brad Davies. Galanos is 0 for 1. In 2 trips, he's got a walk. Got to be disappointing, you think, for Coach Nichols to not have that final tournament or districts, if you will, or...
Well, I don't know.
Dakota is a tough team, though, right?
Yeah, they're number 10 in the state right now in Division I. So, so they played a good team. They had to have a perfect game to beat them, and Dakota beat them. But it's got to be discouraging. But you know what better way to finish the season than playing your crosstown rival?
Right.
You win this game. It's like the PH Northern football game. You win this game. That's the makings for a good season.
Is it as big of a deal, though? I know if they win in football, it means everything. But in this, will they take this home and be really, really happy tonight, or what?
Well, the players will. I mean, it obviously is not the type of rivalry that the football game is. But, this is baseball. It's like with basketball or with hockey or wrestling or tennis or golf. Or whenever you're playing your crosstown team, it's always, you always want to win that game. You always seem to play a little bit better. And, so it doesn't matter what sport it is. And you take a look at these teams. Half of the baseball team on both sides is made up of football players.
Sure.
So it's
sports,
I'm sure come August, September when they face each other, they're saying, hey, remember that baseball game? Remember that base I stole off you? They don't forget.
And that's what it's all about.
Oh,
really.
heavens, yes. And that's what makes it so much fun watching high school baseball, little league baseball, those the kids are out here because they want to play.
Right, they care.
Yeah, exactly. They're out here for the love of the game, and we lose that a lot in the college game. Not as much in the college game as we do in the pros, but you lose that as you move up the ladder. So,
and lose it a lot sorry to say, but even the parents really take it seriously sometimes.
I think the parents take it a little too serious sometimes out here.
Right.
We forget these are teenagers. But nothing like living your life to your kid, right?
There you go. You're guilty of that, I take it.
A little bit. I mean, who can't? I'm a dad.
Sure. Tyler Thomas, the new pitcher, by the way, on the mound for the Huskies. And I don't even want to count how many pitchers they've already had in there tonight.
This is our 6th pitcher.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 or 6. Match the inning.
Mm-hmm.
They like to play musical pitcher, but hey, whatever works. That one just missed. Inside. Off speed pitch. Kind of looked like a deuce. And I don't know what that missed by. Inches?
Not sure. It's really hard for us to see the plate from here.
This one's a pop-up. Over the Channel 6 van. I don't know if the big fella in the truck there, E.J. Shea, was ducking in there or not, but, well, he's got a roof, so.
Well, probably beat you to it.
Everything's intact. I didn't hear a big bang.
No. They're pretty proud of that bus, too. They don't want a dent in it, I'll tell you.
Win the bell, come on, 7.
So Galanos,
Full count.
pretty decent at bat, working the pitcher anyway. Ty Thomas. Again, Jansen Southgate was great for the Huskies in his inning. Right at third base, Galanos hustling, beats it out. And he's going to go for 2. Barely on the baseline, but he slides in and he's safe. A good heads-up running there by Galanos, trying to get something back for his team here. Obviously one of their leaders, and they'll expect that from him next year being a senior, but what do you think? We ruling that one an error or what?
I'm giving him a base hit.
Why not?
And, shortstop picked it up on the carom, tried to make a long throw from the hole. I think he would have beat it out, even on a good throw. But we do have to give him an error on the shortstop going to second base.
So Anthony Engel trying to give the Big Reds their 3rd run of the night. They still trail by 5, 7-2 in the 6th. Pretty decent looking player, this Engel, too. 1 for 1 in the game, a double and a sac fly.
He's living up to his .311 average, that's for sure. Having a real good game tonight.
What would you say is an outstanding average at this level? Would 350 be outstanding, or is that?
315 would be very good. 400 would be great.
So that is done then, 400 at this level?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Well, Galanos continues aggressive base running on the wild pitch. Slides in, no problem. But I would think they'll give him that all day just to get the out here when you're up 5. So Galanos now to 3rd. Engel trying to bring him in. Right down the line, that's going to be a fair ball, and that'll get him in. Hustling hard is Engel, getting to 2nd, there's a play there. Slides right into the tag, and he is a dead duck. That's good fundamental baseball there by the Huskies.
Well, I think, the first base coach, Dick Hilliger, I mean, he's a veteran out here for the Big Reds, and he saw the throw came to third base out of, potential throw to the plate, I guess, and so that left second base open, but it took a perfect throw by Eric Sheridan.
Yeah, we actually have to stop and look to see who the new fielder is now, but good tag, might we also add, by Kevin Burns over there at second base.
Yes, exactly. But, hey, give Anthony Engel another RBI.
Sure.
That's 2 RBIs for him tonight.
Well, it's still a single any way you look at it.
You got it.
So Brad Davies up with the bases empty and 1 out. A runner in this inning, 7-3. Big Reds trail the Huskies. This is way back to left. Off the fence. Davies, they're going to send him. Oh, now they're going to hold him up. Scott Nichols thought initially to send him, but the Huskies got that ball in quick. And minimal damage done, despite the fact there's a stand-up double for Davies. Another guy who can really hit.
Yes, he is. He's a 300 hitter. He leads the team in home runs this year. Right there is a good exhibition of his power.
Well, Galanos, Engel, and Davies, that's a good 3, 4, 5. And then you got Page following up at 6, so kind of puzzling to me why they can't put more runs on the board with players of this talent, but, you know, certain plus for the Huskies playing such good defense. This one's in the gap. Page, that's going to be a double at least. Rolls to the wall. They might be thinking 3 for Page this time, and nope, they stop again. So, don't look now, but a 7-4 ball game.
Two back-to-back doubles. Actually, 4 hits for the Big Reds this inning.
Well, that was a no-doubter gap shot.
But like you said, you know, you would think the Big Reds will be able to put a lot of runs on the board with that power they've got in the middle of the lineup.
Durand Ashford, number 15, the left fielder. 0 for 1. Struck out looking, and a sack. That one, I believe, missed. Outside, 1-0. As there you see Page leading off from second. The pitch, low and outside. Makes it 2-0. Ashford trying to be choosy. Certainly the Big Reds not out of this yet. Down 3 to the Huskies. Good news for the Huskies, though, despite the fact the Big Reds keep scoring runs, the Huskies keep answering them. The pitch, low again. Bit of control trouble right now for Tyler Thomas. 3 straight balls to Ashford. I believe he's going to be given the take sign here. This really doesn't hurt Tyler Thomas that much to put him on here in this situation, to get the force out, and didn't really pitch to him anyway.
You don't really want to give anything up, though, either, so.
Well, batting for number 12, Travis Washington is number 8. And guess what? I don't have him. Do we have another Mr. X or what?
I don't have him either.
Well, I apologize, but he's going to have to be Mr. X. Fouls off that one.
Well, I have 2 players without numbers, Dave Seppo and Ken Radigan, so.
I'm pretty sure it's not Seppo, right?
Not sure.
Usually they're the smaller type, aren't they?
Although, if you take a look at Sam and some of the others,
oh, yeah,
pretty
well,
good size.
Yeah. So Tyler Thomas gets the sign. And the pitch to the unfortunate Mr. X in this inning. Swung on and missed. They're saying foul, so the runners are going to have to go back. Page being aggressive, though, that's a good sign. Again, 7-4 Huskies, bottom of the 6th. Late innings now. Huskies trying to hang on to their lead. That one fouled. Just shy of third base.
Well, that took a nasty hop, just as it went past the bag.
Third baseman Eric Sheridan let it go past.
He's probably saying, I'm glad it wasn't fair.
Right.
That took a big hop.
So number 8 here trying to get something going for the Big Reds. 2 men on, another runner in scoring position. They trail by 3. He represents the tying runner. Now right down the middle. And 8 strikes out.
Just what Tyler needed on that one. He needed a strikeout in a big way. And he got it.
So I believe that's the second out of the inning, bringing up Crimmins, who apparently has stayed in the game. We didn't really keep track of where he went, did we?
No, he went into the dugout. But again, remember, free substitution on defense. He was still, it was a defensive change. And so he's still in the lineup.
Hard to remember that one. Crimmins 1 for 2, a single and a strikeout in 2 trips. Another high one, good cut right back. They say if you foul that one right back, you're just missing it.
Actually, he helped the pitcher on that one a little bit. That was
right
around
high.
the chin, yep. But that ball comes in, they just say, it's a beach ball, let me hit it.
Right. You were saying, though, with your son there, he can't lay off those high ones
Oh, he
either.
loves the high ones. He's done pretty good this year with it, but it's been a struggle for him to try to lay off those.
That one a bit lower. Pretty smart pitch in there, actually, by Thomas. The high and the low. Good eye by Crimmins to watch it go by, and Well, Thomas getting the sign now. Looks back the runners, the pitch. Easy light swing, and that's going to drop for a base hit. That's going to be another run. They wave Page in. Now, just like that, it's a 7-5 game. The Big Reds just will not go away. Definite testament to Coach Nichols and their aggressive nature. Well, here's Kostanecki batting again. Hitting for him already in this game was Jeremy Rohde. Apparently he can come back again.
Yeah, with the substitution, if you go back in the original part of the lineup,
right,
you're okay. Do it once.
Okay. Kostanecki, great opportunity here. He actually represents the go-ahead run now. Considering, 20 minutes real time ago, it was, 7-2. Well, you look up now, and it's a close game. But again, that's what we want out of this rivalry. Checking the runners back again. The pitch to Kostanecki, that one's low.
But what you don't want to do as a pitcher, when your team scores a couple of runs in your half of the inning, you come back and you give up some. That's disheartening to the whole team.
Kostanecki fouls this one back. All kinds of great views tonight by the folks at CPHS Channel 6. And shame on me because I do enough of these games. I don't remember their names. They'll have something to say about that, but I know yours, so we'll thank Terry Harrington, obviously.
Thanks, Derek.
Yeah.
Of course, you wrote it down.
And of course, the big fella in the truck, as always, EJ Shea. Great job this evening. Running it by himself in there. No doubts. He always runs her. Runs her well, too. Kostanecki looked at a lot of pitches in this at-bat. Fouls off this one. So he's really battling up there with Tyler Thomas. Again, 7-5, bottom of the 6th. Big Reds trail the Huskies in the Battle of Port Huron. The only time of the year this happens. Oh, that's a nice pitch. Deuce in the dirt, swung on and missed by Kostanecki, and he strikes out. So after 6 complete, from Sanborn, 7-5, Huskies on top of the Big Reds. Derek Work, the Big D, Terry Harrington for CPHS Channel 6. Back with the 7th inning in just a moment. Got a good game again, 7-5. Welcome back. Sanborn Park, Battle of Port Huron, CPHS Channel 6, Port Huron Area School District television station. A 7-5 lead. The Port Huron Northern Huskies on top of the Port Huron High Big Reds. In a game where really I think the Huskies have been out-hit, but they've had their share of base runners, lots of walks, lots of errors by the Big Reds, and as a result, a 7-5 lead by the Huskies. And they're going to try and put them away in the bottom of the 7th. But first things first, Alex Zondlak for their offense in their half of the 7th. Kostanecki still on the mound for Port Huron. High one, swung and missed. Vicious swing by Zondlak. He wanted that one.
Yeah, you're asking about the hits. I have the Big Reds out hitting the Huskies 9-5 in this game. So you're exactly right.
But again, the errors, and they've probably had a lot more base runners, probably double the amount of base runners.
Can't count that high.
Sorry to put you on the spot again. I know it's hard work being a statistician and a color guy, but that one bounced pretty well on the plate. Kostanecki. And the pitch. Big time drop ball, and he got him. That's one of those ones where if you're not expecting it, you just watch it go up and down and K.
Hey, we got one. Mike Johnson. Yep, one. Hey, be ready. How many we got?
Yeah, if you're expecting a fastball and you're really sitting on a fastball with that big break, the big 12-6.
Yeah. And ouch. And of course, high school ball players by nature are not great curveball hitters either.
Right,
so it's,
right.
And I know a lot of these kids with 2 strikes, they just kind of, no, don't throw me a curveball, don't throw me a curveball. And then you get plunked like Jeremy just did.
Yep, Jeremy Brown hit by a pitch. kind of looked back briefly, but nothing more came of it.
Yeah, he wants to play Saturday in the district game.
Right. Hitting, I believe, the shoulder blade up top. So he's got his leadoff over there. Kostanecki comes in, strike, caught the outside corner. 0-1 to Seppel.
Derek, according to my stats, Jeremy is now the 14th base runner for the Huskies, but believe it or not, Port Huron's had 13, so that's been pretty even.
Unfortunately, a lot of it for the Huskies has been due to errors by the Big Reds, as we mentioned. Runner goes, hit and run. Trying to take the throw, stopped. He was in position, but it bounced over his head. Coming to third, and stopping is Brown. And Seppo takes the easy base at second. So again, the Huskies get a lot out of that.
Well, what made that play work is they had the hit and run on, so the second baseman vacated his spot.
Right.
And you could just see he tried to stop, and right there, right where he stopped is where the ball went through. If Jeremy Brown wasn't running on the play, yeah, we probably had a potential double play there.
But I thought he might have got lucky too, because where that ball was hit was actually where he ended up, but it took such a bad bounce on the board.
Well, it's just behind him too, just like a step or two behind him. So.
Right. Kostanecki, the heater, missed up high. This is Ty Wagner again. Trying to, you'd think, put the Big Reds away. This one high.
Tyler's another one whose father played ball for the Huskies, and his uncle's the athletic director, so yeah, it's that small town feel.
Big shoes to fill.
You bet.
Ground ball. Right at second. They're coming to the plate. The tag is made. No, they just got in under it. A good slide by Brown, and that's a questionable call, I think, but he made it.
Looked like he got his leg in. Catcher looked like, to me, he went to block the ball. Throw was up a little bit, and Jeremy was able to get his leg in between the catcher's legs and touch that plate, and tag came up high, above the waist.
Well, we don't have the greatest view in the world sitting here either, but it looked to me like the throw beat him, but then it all comes down to the tag, right?
Exactly. And with all the dust out there right now,
right,
hard to tell. And
so,
of course, we're 95 feet away from it, so it's
right. Yeah, that doesn't help.
Not at all.
Wagner, the victim of the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Tyler Peters. So it's an 8-5 game.
That was a huge run for Northern. After giving up 3 in that last inning, to come back and get 1 here, that's huge.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, we keep thinking we've seen this movie before. I mean, Big Reds battle back, and the Huskies just keep adding to it, keep answering. Seems they've had an answer for every run the Big Reds have scored.
Yes, they have. And that's something that they've struggled doing this year, so it's good to see them do it, and hopefully this momentum will carry into the districts and go after Anchor Bay. And, it's always hardest to beat a team the 3rd time. Northern's beaten Anchor Bay twice this year, each game by 1 run.
Well, what do you expect out of the missed time? Probably nothing less than that, of a close game again.
Yeah, definitely. But then you heard some comments by Anchor Bay coach Greg Fowler. He says, yep, we got ourselves a lucky draw. So, that
can't sit well. It really can't.
I don't think so. So it's...
Go on! None!
Well, I'm not completely sure there that the catcher, is that Engel, right now, or is that... Okay, I'm not sure they were on the same page.
I think he was expecting a little different than a curveball, or that one had a lot of movement on it, so maybe he wasn't expecting quite that much. And he did take something off that one, so yeah, everybody's just a little bit on edge on a pitch where you take a little bit off like he did on that one.
Wagner went into second, standing up, so second and third now. Again, 8-5. Huskies on top, 7th inning. Peters watches that one. A little bit low for a ball.
Full count.
Kind of surprised they're not putting him on base. 1 out. You need the force. They're going to pitch to him, though. They might have gotten a pop-up out of this. Now that's going to be a foul ball. Lands out of play.
A lot of area back there behind first base in that corner. the fence kind of juts in right there to get around one of the light standards, but awful lot of room back there. And that's why you see on a lot of these overthrows to first base, a guy can easily make second base because there's so much room behind there. A lot of space in this ballpark.
Tyler Peters having a pretty good at-bat, fighting him well. Again, 2 men on. Man on second, man on third for the Huskies. They lead 8-5. Kostanecki, the pitch. Fly ball to right. They're going to tag up on it. Camping under it, I believe Crimmon's out there. That's going to be another sac fly. It's now 9-5 for the Huskies.
And that puts another run just 90 feet away, too. Good base running by the Huskies on that one. But a good job by Tyler Peters as well.
So that'll bring up number 6, Kevin Burns. Trying to do the same thing this time as he did last time with a RBI single. Pretty good athlete for a 9th hitter, I'd say.
And, you know, that's not a spot he's been in all season either. He's been moved around the lineup. He's batted leadoff a little bit, batted second. He's been throughout the lineup. And Coach Royer will do that. If see where a guy's getting hot or something, he'll move them up and down accordingly how they're doing. So always trying to find ways to generate something.
Kostanecki, the big breaker there, missed outside and low.
And watching Kostanecki, he's got this big sweeping motion too. You don't see that very often.
Oh, the thing is, you can kind of tell it's coming in a way, can't you?
Well, I'm not sure about that. Yeah, I haven't been watching him that close, but he's definitely over the top pitcher, and he's tall to begin with. So that makes for a big motion.
Throws this time high. Engel have to stand up to get that one. So it's a 2-1 count. Again, 6 Kevin Burns. 1 for 3 on the night. Singled his last trip up, as mentioned, RBI. He might have done it again. Instead, fly ball left field. Ashford camps under it and makes the out. So last hope for the Big Reds. 9-5. Huskies on top. We go to the bottom of the 7th. CPHS Channel 6. Derek Warwick, the Big D. Terry Harrington. Port Huron Area School District television station. Well, again, to ask you, 9-5. What do you think of this one, and what you expected?
I think so. You know, with the way the teams have been playing this year, you know, the game was played pretty much, you know, as the teams have been going this year. I think one thing that's helped, Northern got their bats going tonight. That's something that they've been struggling with this year. Defensively, Northern's played a very good ball game. And that's another area where they've struggled at times.
But nice to see going into a big game coming on the weekend.
Exactly, you know, and so I think this has been a great tune-up for the Huskies, and you know they're pretty healthy. A couple arms a little sore, you know, maybe an ankle's a little tweaked here or there, but I think it's good for them. And you know, for Port Huron High, obviously coming into this game's got to be a little discouraging, losing that pre-district game, knowing that this is it for the seniors and that. So yeah, so that's hard too. But I think it's been a good game. We've seen some good action, and you know the teams have been and made some plays on both sides. So all you can ask for in a crosstown rivalry and last home game for the seniors. So.
And as a positive for Coach Nichols too, although they're going to lose this one at 9-5 right now, but they are going to finish over 500 in their own right, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, 13-12 is not a bad record, and so they've had a decent season, and see what happens next year. They got a number of juniors on the team as well, 7 coming back, so they've got a good nucleus. But it sure would be nice if we could see these two teams play each other more often, and both teams made some ways in the districts they could have played together, against each other, but it just wasn't to be this year.
Michael Johnson batted for him last time, but here he's back again, Charlie Watson. Initially the leadoff hitter in this game. 0 for 2, I believe, in the game. That one thrown at his feet, he had to jump. And it looks as if the Huskies finally aren't playing musical pitchers any longer. They're going to let this one go with Tyler Thomas. Been out there, 3 innings now? 2 innings. We're just not used to seeing a Husky pitcher last more than an inning in this one. Thomas, the wind up, the pitch. Ground ball to first. Played nicely, Thomas over to cover, but a race to the bag, and 5 wins it, Joel Klaas, for the first out in the 7th inning. So good play by 3 unassisted there. And that'll bring up Jeremy Davis. Davis has a double, 3 trips. Also a strikeout and a fly out to left. Pitch is high. Good confidence builder for Ty Thomas pitching-wise too, going into the weekend.
Oh yes, and it's good to see that the Huskies got Joel Kloss in the game. He's a state champion bowler for the Huskies this year, and because he went to a tournament, the Michigan Athletic Association said he's ineligible to play. So this is a game that doesn't really mean anything in terms of standings or anything, so it's good to see the coaches allowing him to play tonight.
Sure.
What a way to go out as a senior, but it's good to see him here. He's been with the team all season, and he's taken it well, as hard as it's been, I'm sure. So it's good to see him let him play this last inning.
Bloop single for Jeremy Davis. That'll bring up Jordan Galanos. And again, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Excellent hitters for the Big Reds. Galanos, a single in tonight's game. 1 for 2, I believe, with a walk. Had a couple of tough balls over there at shortstop, too, tonight. Kind of a tough-looking infield. Said it a couple of times now. Next pitch to Galanos.
Yeah, usually third base is considered your hot corner, but I think shortstop's had that spot tonight.
Right.
Matter of fact, I don't think the third baseman have made but 4 plays all season, or all game for both teams.
So a strike to Galanos. Davis, decent-sized lead over at first. That one hits the dirt. Davis takes off. He's going to get the base standing up. Right now, though, as the pitcher, you've got to focus on the hitter. They're up by, what, 9-5? 4-run lead? They might even give him third if he runs. Who knows?
And to look at the Husky lineup, it's good to see all the seniors are back in for this last inning.
And I'm happy, too, with the heart of the Big Red order coming up this inning, because it shows the Huskies are going to have to earn this one.
That's right.
Nice to see in the rivalry game. Galanos right down the line. Not fielded cleanly, and that's going to be an E5.
And we just said the hot corner hasn't seen a lot of action tonight.
So runners now on first and second. And that brings up Anthony Engel. Engel has 2 hits. He's 2 for 2, a single and a double. So here's one guy I'm thinking they might not be too happy he's standing in the batter's box.
Yeah, he's had himself a great game.
That one missed, kind of ducking out of the way, and an inside deuce. So it's 1-0. Another opportunity for Engel to bring in a run. This one missed low, 2-0. Again, 9-5, Huskies on top of the Big Reds. Big Reds' last chance here, if you will. There's a fly ball, it's going to be foul. Forest area over there. You'll be losing a lot of balls, that's for sure.
But we need one.
Taking them a while to get one, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like they brought out a brand new one, too.
So what do we got as the count here?
I've
Mr.
got
Statistician.
2-1.
2-1 the count to Engel. This would be a huge out right now for Thomas. Engel trying to put the ball in play here. Double play depth are the middle infielders. That one right down the middle, 2-2. Engel's really got to set himself. I would guess he's going to get a pretty decent pitch to hit here, 2-2. He swings at it, and that one just fair if it is fair. They're calling it fair. Steps on the bag, throws across the diamond, and that, folks, is going to end it. The Port Huron Northern Huskies have won the Battle of Port Huron tonight. Terry, how about it?
It was a good game, and it's fitting that the game ended on a double play. We haven't had one all game, but it was a good game. It was well played by both teams. A couple of miscues here, but it's good to see the Northern getting a win, and for Port Huron High, just another disappointing loss for them, but they still have a winning season at 13-12.
Well, thanks again for coming out tonight and helping us out, Terry. Your insight was great, and so were the stats.
Oh, Derek, it's a pleasure.
Right
Had a
on.
good time.
Okay. For the big fella in the truck, EJ Shea, and the cameramen, I apologize again for not knowing their names. I've been Derek Wark, the Big D. Final score from here tonight. The Battle of Port Huron won by Port Huron Northern Huskies 9-5 over the Port Huron High Big Reds. CPHS Channel 6, Port Huron Area School District. See you next time, and good luck to the Huskies this weekend in the districts.